Hello to all of you beautiful nerds and welcome back from traveling the vast nerd universe. I am glad to be back from not recording for a little while now. Uh, how am I gonna say it? Recently, towards the end of August, we ended up losing our best friend and editor, Rain. If you probably remembered any of the videos that he had made here and also our introduction video and the Boxu unboxing, Rain and his husband were pretty much were a big part of our stuff, and even leading up to joining our team, especially for Omni Fandom Expo. But due to the pandemic, the convention had to be pushed back, so we were trying to get more content for you all. But since, he ended up passing away due to complications of a surgery that he was getting to help with his transition from female to male, and it was hard. It left a big hole in mine and Richard's hearts because he told me on the way back home from work, and I was completely devastated because I hardly cried before towards someone's death until now, because he's been a really awesome friend since we met back during Metro Con 2013, because the story that I'm about to tell you took place leading up to MetroCon 2014. And I did tell it in my first book, The Blind Perspective, Convention Stories from the Dark, and I titled it Attack of the Evil Lolita. But this title here is going to be the Lolita dress drama, because it kind of shows that we went through a really big dramatic, how should I say it? The person that was supposed to make our Lolita dresses became really mean towards us, and that's why I'm going to refer to her as Mad Marge on here. And I was meaning to tell this story anyway, since one of the videos I recorded before this one was waiting to be edited alongside my Naked Ultraviolet look for the Urban Decay series, which now I'm gonna re-record and do like the old format. I'm sorry to do that, guys. I understand you like the edited versions, but unfortunately we have to find a way of getting newer editing after what had happened. We have to get a new editing situation, so we're not sure how long that's going to take. And I know the Ultraviolet palette already released not too long ago, and also I still had to do the My Melody and Kuromi collection from Wet n Wild, which I know that released not a while back, which I still want to do a look using that and talk about it, even though it's sold out like crazy. But I want to update you guys on that because it was pretty hard, especially this past week with me being busy with classes, because I just started my master's program. So recording videos is gonna be a little bit hard in between, because I am also a student again. And of course, things do get really hectic and my plate is kind of full. So understand, I am not forgetting about the channel at the moment. I do know I gotta keep on bringing out content leading up to any of the conventions that we are planning for next year. And after what had happened to Rain, I feel really devastated, still sad about it. It felt unreal, and I kind of feel like this would be a little bit part of my closure towards him, because this was a story that I really told involving him, especially before he revealed about his being transgender back then. So yeah, I'm gonna miss you, Rain. So again, this is gonna be known as the Lolita dress drama, and some things I would like to point out as disclaimers. First, for anybody who makes anything that knows what it's like to have deadlines before a convention, know this. A deadline is a deadline, especially if you're making it for another person. So please understand that. I mean, I know you understand that. And also, another thing, I am visually impaired, but I don't use my visual impairment as something to make you guys work for me. As in, I am not using it as an entitlement towards you making things for me. I understand you guys have other commissions on top of it, and we'll try to finish it in time. Another thing is, if you guys probably stumble upon this video, which of course did take until now to tell the story about it, and probably might have remembered what Mad Marge had to say about me and this one bride that was also involved with the story, because she was also having a commission too at the same time as mine, towards mine and Rain's dresses. Understand, there's more sides to every story, and you're getting my side of the story, and I know I'm saying should realize, but better realize that what someone says on their side is not always going to be the true side, because there are, like I said, multiple sides of every story, and this is what happened on my end, and of course from Rain and Toby's point of view, because even though they were also kind of involved with what had happened. So yeah, let's start this makeup look, and I'll keep on telling the story. Let's see. I'm gonna start with my brows. Yep. That's my brow brush that came with the crap, $1 billion brows kit. So this story takes place leading up to MetroCon 2014. And the thing was, we were wanting to come back to MetroCon because we had fun during 2013's Metro, and we did get some content, even though I had to transcribe some stuff, because this was before we started doing the, sorry, I'm just making sure to see on how much more left on this brow pencil, because I had this for almost over a year now. I think over a year, but yeah, it was fun. because it was a breath of fresh air from going to all the conventions in Orlando. And plus, it felt good to be out of Orlando for one weekend, even if it was just 4 days. So, then we talked about coming back to Metro for 2014's event due to how much fun we had. And also decided to do panels again. And one of the panels that Rain came up with was, of course, a live action roleplay panel, because one of the rooms that Metro was going to experiment with was an open classroom type panel room where there's only the stage and no chairs, which was kind of a good idea, because what if you have one of those workshop type panels where you need the open space for building things, and it makes sense that way. Hey, it would be kind of cool if the Electric Daisy Carnival guys kind of show you how they made their props. What can you do? But I know I kind of went off on my own thing, but it was a good idea as a panel room. I wonder if they kept that panel room afterwards with that, because that would be pretty awesome if they did. So, in the idea, it was gonna be almost like a mystery type live action roleplay, and me and Rain were like playing as adopted children for a millionaire, and he thought it would be great for us to wear Lolita dresses. For those of you who are new to hearing about Lolita, it's basically a street fashion in Japan where they had dresses based on Victorian and Rococo style dresses. And I remembered talking about this, and I know it's bad of me to kind of mention it with cosplay, but I mentioned it in my cosplay presentation back in UCF. Please don't kill me for that, but come on, I was an ignorant little university student, okay? So don't blame me. Anyways, so he then gave me a link to a website where they sold Lolita dresses for almost like a discounted price, because some vendors, especially in Japan with Angelic Pretty, sometimes sell their stuff pretty expensive, and you have to kind of go with specific measurements. And the reason, and I don't know, well, I know it was going to be $75 for the dresses alone, but back then, I am admitting now, I only had a credit card and cash that I saved over time, because even though I did have my benefits, but my mom had them deposited in her account so she could do my finances, even though I was already in my early 20s at the time. Actually late 20s at the time, because I was about to graduate from UCF in 2014. So I was wondering if I could get these made, and I went to my one of our good friends that we met from conventions past, Franchi. If you remembered, even though I would be posting this video afterwards, he was also the one who helped in making my Lucy outfit. And he is kind of a bit of an important part of the story, alongside the important detail of my visual impairment making me entitled to having something made. That's another important detail which will come later. So, sorry, getting the palette that I am using, which is, where is it? Wait, what happened to it? Oh, found it. I'm using the IB Beauty Hollywood Glam palette. So, I definitely like this brand, and they also helped me out with describing shades for me with 2 other palettes, which I'm going to be doing a video later on that Brain gave me an idea where I talk about brands' reactions and how they were able to help me out, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, so he replies back and says, Lolita is kind of a hard thing to make because you gotta think about other components that goes into a Lolita dress that I didn't realize, like having petticoats, a lot of lace, and so many other things. So it's basically a fancy type of dress. And again, I was kind of a bit of a rookie to this kind of fashion, alternative fashion. And so he pointed me to somebody he knew that made Lolita dresses. Oop, crap, my palette fell off my knee. I am using some newer stuff that I got in my BoxyCharm and Glam Bag Plus. So I am using this brush that I got in a small set from my BoxyCharm. It's from Luna Magic. So anyways, back to the story. So he pointed me to Mad Marge. I kind of gave her the name of Evil Lolita because of how she acted after this whole entire situation was done. But Mad Marge kind of fits her a little bit better, in my opinion. But I'll tell you how and why. So I kind of remembered her from some of the other shoot events that Franchi did hold in Orlando. And she did take a couple of pictures, and I think I did remember she did wear one of her Lolita dresses with bunny ears, I think. It's been a while. It was a while since I remembered seeing that. And she was really nice at first when I emailed her, and she said that she will be able to do it, even though not a lot of people have been commissioning her to do anything. And she also had another commission that she was working on, but she will take on mine. And I would have to pay her after the dress is made. And she said that since I knew Francie, that she would give me a discount, like $40 off of what the person was gonna sell the dress. And I was also, and that she would also include accessories and all that. But I did remember how Rain was gonna wear dog ears, a wig, and some paws with his dress, and I was gonna do the same thing with my cat ears, a wig, and paws too, to match with the idea. And I told Marge about that, and we just stuck it to the dress. And because let me start that sentence again, because I mentioned to Rain about Marge, and he was like, okay, if she's gonna be making your dress, is it possible she could make my dress? And I talked to Marge, and she said sure, and I'll also charge her for the same amount. And I'm like, okay, cool. And things went well from there. And mind you, this was like towards the end of 2013 going into 2014. And she was also asking, Marge was asking for our measurements. So I asked around, hey, what are the parts of the body that we had to get measured for Lolita dresses? And ended up getting the information from someone who makes Lolita dresses themselves for other people. And I got the checklist. So Richard took my measurements and also took Rain's measurements. And we were able to send them off to Marge, and she was glad that we got them to her pretty quickly. So things were okay. So my final semester of over at UCF starts, and time goes pretty quickly throughout January. And I'm gonna put this eggplant color in my definer area, and so things were going pretty well until I get a message on Facebook from Rain, because the rest of the interactions with Marge were through Facebook on a old profile that me and Richard used to share together, because everybody knew us a lot. And so Rain asked, hey, did Marjorie, oops, sorry if I slipped the name, I meant Marge. Did Marge start our dresses yet? I'm like, I am not entirely sure. I am gonna take a look and see. So I sent a message to Marge, and she said she hasn't started on them yet because she was still working on this one bride's commission and her bridesmaids' dresses, because around the same time that I was graduating, there was supposed to be a wedding as well, and she was making some dresses for bridesmaids and a bride, which is another important tidbit to know. And I'm like, okay. And I asked, when would you be starting? And she's like, soon. Or wait, let me rewind. She was saying that she was about to start that weekend, if I remember correctly. It's been 6 years, guys. But she said she was supposed to start that weekend. I'm like, okay, cool. So February starts passing, and then I check up on Marge again and ask, hey, how are the dresses going? And she goes, oh, haven't started on them yet because I was still busy with the wedding commission. I'm like, okay. And then she points out that she will start on them soon. And I'm like, okay. And my friend still wants to know if you're still going to charge the same price as you said, which was $30 for each of our dresses. And she said, yeah, they are. And that's another tidbit too, which is the whole entire payment situation, and which I remember from the email that she said to pay once the dresses were done. I'm like, okay. So March is pretty much about to come to almost an end at this point, and Rain sends me another message. Hey, do you know if she's working on our dresses? I'm like, she said she was
Tasty. Now, these healthy vegan recipes will help keep dinner light and tasty tonight.
Thank you, Tasty. But anyways, ask me, I remembered she said she was starting on them not too long ago. And she should be working on them right about now. And Rain just popped in with his fear that we probably won't get the dresses in on time. I'm like, well, how could that be? Because she did say she was starting towards like mid-March or something. So it's almost April at this point, and I decided to check in on Marge again. And she said, I haven't started, but I need more materials for your dresses because Joann's is about to have their semi-annual sale, because some places do semi-annual sales, and Joann's has a really big one on fabric, apparently. From what I know from other people that I met that makes cosplay, do love going to Joann's and pick up stuff during their big sale on fabric. And I'm like, okay. And she didn't ask for payment then either, because figuring that she probably had enough, because I would think at this moment she probably had enough to buy the materials, since she didn't ask for payment then and there. And that she was good, and she said, then once I get the materials, I will start on your dresses. I'm like, okay, cool. And by the way, one more thing, never contact me again. When I read that on my Braille Sense QWERTY Plus, because this was before I got the U2 unit, when I read that or had it read out to me, I'm like, okay. And she's kept on going and said, don't contact me until they are done. This was odd, and I never thought of it to be odd. And when I told Rain about it, he thought it was odd too. And I said, okay, with the conversation with Marge, I thought it was pretty odd, and my red flags did not raise at that moment because I never thought of it being a red flag. Because at this moment, being a little on the, okay, I was pretty big on the gullible side because I never thought about the consequences of actions, You never think these things through, and I admit that. And I never thought that would be a red flag back then. I'm putting that in my brush cleaning jar. So I would make sure I clean my brushes before the move because yes, we're moving to a different place. So again, I never thought of that as a big red flag about our dresses being done. And I'm like, okay, I won't contact you. I promise not to, blah, blah, blah. And I trusted her, okay, that she would get these dresses made. Since, I did tell her, we gotta make sure those get done, like, before MetroCon, which was, the dates were in July that year. Because sometimes Metro is either in June or July, depending on when the staff could get the convention center for their weekend. Because if you probably have been to MetroCon yourself, it's held at the Tampa Convention Center. And it's a big place. If you haven't been, gonna be using a black eyeliner with this look. And this year they did move some of the, not this year, back then they did move some of the things around to use the space more wisely, which was great. But anyways, so yeah, never thought of it as a big red flag. And again, that was another important detail that would come up later. So my graduation happened and went, and also had a graduation party that weekend. And since I graduated like May 1st, and apparently the wedding was supposed to be around that same time too, but we had pretty bad weather that weekend, so I'm not sure if it still happened during that weekend, because how I would know, because I meant Marge. Sorry if I am slipping the name. I mean, Marge said that not to contact her again. And that's when Rain brought up his concerns, and same with Toby as well. And it was like, do you know if she got the dresses done or if she's working on them? And I said, no, I don't know, because remember, I'm not supposed to contact her about any of this. And that's when he brought up his suspicions that probably something's going on that we don't know about. And I'm like, okay, he does have a point right there. And I understand the concerns, because when you're on a deadline for a convention, you're trying to get your stuff done, especially if you're doing it for someone else. Whether it's a prop or a particular piece for a costume, and so much more. And deadlines are very important, and what I felt like it was not being respected. And I was trying to get in contact with Marge after everybody left my party, that to see about, hey, are you working on our dresses? Are they almost done? I even left my address to have them sent. You know, and then I tried asking for advice from the person who told me about the measurements. Like, gave me the list of all the different parts for the measurements. And the question that was brought up from her, which has been important throughout this time, have you paid her yet? I'm like, no, she never asked for payment, and she told me to never contact her again. This person was like, well, she's pulling something that she's not supposed to. She's probably not getting them done. And this brought up another question as well. It's like, does she get her stuff done on a timely basis or manner, or in a timely manner? And of course, June hits, like towards the end of May, or was it June? Or in June, Rain thought of an idea of having backup dresses, where we went to Plata's Closet to look at their dress selection, because sometimes people donate their dresses from either prom or homecoming to get some money from it for other people to buy. And that's what we did. I'm using my new Laura Geller mascara. And if you're wondering about the eyeliner, it was a sample of the 24/7 Glide On from Urban Decay, because I bought a backup of the Naked 3 because I had so many points gathered and was able to get backup, since they are probably still discontinuing that palette, but I haven't seen it pulled from Ulta. But anyways, and also I did get the new Stone Vibes palette. But back to the story. So we were able to get some backup dresses, which did help in the end. But still, I was trying to contact Marge to see if she could respond. And I'm like, hey, could you respond? And could you tell me the information? You know, there's a deadline coming up soon, which is true, because once an event starts happening, time does fly. And I did post a rant type, almost a rant post on the Nerdy Chic Universe website. This was still when it had .wordpress.com, before it turned into the .com. And I talked about the situation, and I did have a few likes towards it. And of course, it was kind of And I never thought the question, did she ask for payment, would be an important issue. Sorry. I am putting on the Tony Moly under eye cream, which is a sample I got through Ipsy as an add-on. Like, yeah, waking up early during the week to do classes online does leave a bit of a puffiness. But anyways, back to the story, which towards the end of June, I decided to contact Franchi because he was the one who gave me Marge's contact, and I decided to talk to him about my situation because, you know, he's willing to listen and hear me out. And I told him what was going on, and he was like, that's not like Marge. She usually gets her stuff done and make sure everything is done according to her, and always gets everybody's stuff out on time. And I'm like, that is weird, because now she's not answering me about my dresses. I mean, about our dresses, mine and Rain's. And she said she was getting new materials at Joann's during the sale, because you probably know what I'm talking about. And I think it was like towards the end of the weekend, he told me that she was in his area hanging out with some friends. And I'm like, that's weird, because usually if you have a deadline, you shouldn't be doing things like that. And he agreed with me. I'm using the It Cosmetics Illuminating, not It Cosmetics, Dr. Brandt Pores No More Illuminating Primer. I got it in one of my boxes. I think it was Glam Back Plus. But anyways, and he agreed that that's not like her to travel during the time when she has something that she's supposed to be probably completed. And like, okay, I guess we'll have to rely on our backups, because we bought backup dresses just in case. And he thought it was a good idea for us to do that. And I think he also tried to contact her too and never got an answer. So we just found everything so weird of her pretty much ghosting us. So the convention came, and we definitely got to our hotel, which was a double suite near the airport, because Toby and Rain did have their honeymoon at a similar thing, at the almost like the same kind but downtown, but there was a different location because they figured it would be easier than navigating the downtown Tampa traffic, which is true, because apparently there are times when events do take place. And yeah, right. Oh, that's my eyebrow gel. That would have been hilarious if I accidentally did that on my under eyes. But anyways, So we had a double suite. It was me and Richard in one room, and Toby and Rain in the other, and our buddy Kristen, who decided to join in that year, had the couch. And it was a really nice suite, even though it didn't have that many supplies to cook with, but it helped out. I mean, never thought you could smell awesome chicken wings all the way down the hall from towards the elevator. I'm gonna miss Rain's cooking. That's another thing. I have to find a way of making the traditional pork shoulder of Puerto Rico. Anyways. Again, we were staying there from Thursday evening through Monday morning because it was a lot easier to do it that way. It was a great idea too, because after a long convention weekend, you are completely exhausted, and I know that's how we're going to feel after Ranger Stop Pop, since we're going to be going to Atlanta for that one. Since we never been. And again, it would be a nice change from Florida conventions. I am going to make sure I get all my schoolwork done before then. Because I know I'm going to be in my second semester by then. But anyways, back to the story. So Friday went pretty well, even though I had my heaviest costume on, which was my own hack character. Did the interviews with Dante Bosco and Richard Epcar. That was a miracle to get Dante Bosco as one of my interviews. Another story for another time. But anyways, so Saturday came, and there's one thing about Rain, is that he sometimes does have some nerves on thinking that things aren't gonna, nobody's, actually that weekend he was nervous that nobody was gonna come to his panel on that Saturday, the roleplay panel. And I'm like, no, people aren't gonna be coming. I mean, we were all trying to tell him, people are gonna come, and guess what? The room was almost packed. Well, actually, no way, it was packed. Sorry, it's been years. And everybody had fun with this panel. I mean, we even had an L cosplayer for this one too, which makes sense. Death Note. And everybody had fun. We acted like we were in the mystery and enjoying everything. And we did look good in our dresses. We even had pictures outside near the waterfront. And of course, we did sing along with In the End, which someone was playing on the speakers in the hallway. So yeah, we had one huge sing-along. I mean, that was a lot of fun. Even though Sunday, I kind of still feel like the Helsing Ultimate panel was the one that really took the cake, because we were enjoying ourselves throughout that weekend. And also, another tidbit I did not mention, Saturday afternoon, when I was cosplaying as my Pokemon gym leader for the Thunder Gym, because I do like to create my own characters. and I was doing it under gym leader, and apparently I ran into Franchi in the dealer room, and he gave me hugs and saying, "Don't worry about anything, just have fun," type thing. And like, I was glad I got to see him. And like, he even wished me luck on the photo shoot, because that's what I was dressed up for, was the Pokemon photo shoot with Pika-Bell-Chew, because she always holds a photo shoot when she's at a convention. So yeah, the convention passes, and 2 weeks later, it was about to be when I was getting more stuff up onto the blog for our content, when I see a message notification on Facebook, on my and Richard's Facebook, and it was Marge, Mad Marge. So yeah, she was not happy at all. And she was like, "Thanks for the payment for your dresses. Wait, you didn't pay." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And I was thrown back. Like, she got mad at me for nothing. I mean, she did not ask for payment. And I'm like, "Excuse me, you didn't ask for a payment." And I was yelling at her, like saying, "You had a deadline. You were supposed to make us the dresses and get them to us in time for Metro. What happened to all that?" And I was like pissed off at her, and apparently she blocked me after my rage, and like, thinking good riddance to her, because I kind of felt like she got mad at me because, one, she didn't ask for a payment. Like I said before, she didn't ask for a payment. She didn't give me the PayPal info, and same with so I could pass it on to Rain. And apparently she didn't make our dresses because of that either. And I sent a message to Franchi, like emailed him and told him what had happened. And he told me, "Yeah, she's basically blasting you on Facebook." I mean, not Facebook, on a different social media platform. I'm not sure which one was it. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be Tumblr, maybe. I'm not sure if it was also Facebook. I don't know. But he copied and pasted what she said on there, which was, I am kind of paraphrasing what she had said, and I'm saying it here. I tried writing it in my book, but I kind of felt like it was going to be gonna make the book kind of a little bit long. And so she basically was like, "Oh, I am so glad to at least have someone give me a chance to finish up my work despite having carpal tunnel." To tell you the truth, I also have carpal tunnel because of all my typing, to give you that little tidbit. And it's painful, yes. But anyways, and she was like, and to the one who I ruined their MetroCon, thanks a lot for not paying for your dresses. And she was like talking and making it sound like I said that she ruined my convention experience, which, by the way, she did not. Like I said before, she did not want me to contact her ever again. I didn't say anywhere that she was ruining my convention experience, especially in my rants, which I was talking about how she was not meeting meeting deadlines, and how people should be careful about who they commission, because something like this could happen, which is true. Something like this can happen. And I did remember commissioning someone on the spot during Mythicon 2013, which I was only there for 2 days, to make me a Jolteon pillow, and they never got the chance to make it. And they were like, oh, can you come back tomorrow? I'm like, no. I said I only was gonna be at the convention for Friday and Saturday. I never saw that person again, to tell you the truth, but I was, again, there are times when you gotta be careful who you commission, and this story is a perfect example of that. And apparently in that same post, what the, oh, that is so weird. I never set an alarm. Sorry guys, it's my braille sense. That is weird.
Stop recording video button.
Okay, still recording. Phew. But back to the story. So she was also saying like I was using my blindness as entitlement to get things made, which is not true. I never tell people like that Jolteon, that person that I tried asking to make a Jolteon pillow for me during Mythicon, saying, I never say something like this, hey, by the way, I'm blind. You must make this product for me. I am trying out a new bronzer that I got in my Glam Bag Plus from Yenza. Ooh, that smells nice. It's a cream bronzer. But anyways, so I never tell anybody saying like, hey, I'm blind, you're supposed to make this for me, or you need to make this for me because I'm blind, you have to do it now. No, I don't do that. Maybe my mom would, because she always likes to play the blindness card, when I only do it when it deems necessary. And here's the funny thing. She already...
Facebook. Now, Kim Halmabandi sent you a friend request. Attachment.
Huh, new friend. But anyways, she already knew that I was visually impaired because I was at the different events that she was at with Franchi. And not all the time. I was like, you have to do this for me because I'm blind. I'm like, most of the time I'm like, I can't see that. I'm visually impaired. Could you describe that for me, please? So yeah, this bronzer is pretty nice. But anyways, I kind of felt a little bit taken back reading all that from Franchi. And another thing too is that the person who was supposed to have the wedding dresses made for her and her bridesmaids did not get them either, and she blasted the bride as well. I forgot what she said about the bride, but I kind of felt like she probably had the same situation with her and told the bride not to contact her again either, even though it was getting close to the wedding, which, you know, weddings are important. I am going to try this blush stick out from No Make No Life. I'm hoping it doesn't look crazy because they picked the shade that's supposed to go with anybody. It's this little heart looking blush stick. So I'm going to try this out. But after reading that, I was appalled at what she had said about me and the bride, and I felt bad towards the bride the most because she never got her dresses from Marge. And weddings are important for most people. I think I kind of messed up on this blush. I am sorry, guys. It's hard to do this when you have a heart shape like this. I'm blending it, but it did go on smoothly. But so yeah, after that, to tell you the truth, guys, I'm glad I did have her blocked in a way. And knowing that people agreed with her, and I never got to see some of the comments since Franchi did include his comment in his email saying, why did you say things about Mari like that when she has been one of the nicest people I've known? And that did bring me to tears though, because he was standing up for me as a friend should. And he was also like, I'm glad that we're no longer friends because you were in my area and you never bothered to contact me. Which apparently she did travel to his area before Metro and never got her stuff done. So it's disappointing to know that someone like that would be very vindictive and kind of lie for her business like that and make us sound like us as customers the bad guys when she hardly did the work when she was supposed to do it, even though it kind of sounds bad of me or wrong of me to say something like that. But if you had a commission and you know you had a deadline for it, try to do it in time. I mean, seriously, I'm still kind of disappointed at her and how she made us sound. Oop, right, what highlighter should I use? And I'm not sure how her business or her commissions went after that because I never spoke to her again since she blocked me on Facebook. And I rarely go on mine and Richard's Facebook anymore because I kind of focus on my own profile, and happened for many years after a few years after he proposed. Richard proposed, I mean. But I kind of felt like after that, I am kind of glad that I never got in contact with her ever again. And she's just bitter about everything. I mean, if she asked for payment right then and there, I would have understood and try to do my best in getting my payment to her, whether it's cash in an envelope or try to open my own bank account and deposit some cash that way and PayPal it to her like she said. Why didn't you ask for my PayPal? I would have if you asked me to pay. I mean, I would have understood if she wanted me to pay in order to get the materials, because fabric ain't cheap. And same with some sewing products, because I did get myself a sewing kit once on eBay, because some of those sewing kits kind of are a bit pricey, even though I do have a job, but there are times when I got a budget. So if you're wondering, did Rain get into Lolita? He did. He didn't get his first cord until Holiday Matsuri 2018, which he looked really good for his first cord. Not gonna lie, because ever since that, during that year, I did feel bad that we never got our dresses. And he kept on telling me, and same with Toby, why should you feel bad because someone like her decided to act like a witch towards us when we didn't do anything? And I do find it true, because it wasn't our fault that she decided to act like that. And it's not good, it's not professional of her to act like that, especially when it comes to new customers. I think she would be happy that she actually got another commission from somebody, but at the same time, I kind of felt like she was sounding like she was dreading it. Looking back on it, like she dreaded doing any more commissions, and that kind of is a little bit off-putting, but I didn't have my flags raised, my red flags, which nowadays I am trusting, especially if some stranger with a job decides to come on and do that, which that would be another story for another time, because I did go through a work at home scam a year later. Which brings me to, yes, I wanted to at least try out Lolita, but ever since Holiday Matsuri 2018, when we weren't seen as serious by the Zach Callison's agent, even though I was wearing a skirt that day and possibly a nerd shirt with a Santa hat. Come on, it was Holiday Matsuri. What do you expect me to wear? I wanted to be festive. I think this setting spray has more product than my NYX one. Even though with the Wet n Wild ones, I always have to buy 2 bottles because it always runs out so fast. And it's so small. But as I was saying, we decided to change things and start wearing shirts with the Nerdy Chic Universe logo and everything, and pamphlets, which I was glad Richard did find that as a good idea after the weekend, which we did have made. Even though, again, as I said, I would love to get into Lolita, but the reason why I didn't get into it after that year was one, making sure. One, I was looking for a job, and nobody was hiring me. So when I finally got a job in the career I decided to go down the road for, I felt like...
Facebook. Now, Gracia Belade sent you a friend request. Attachment.
Okay, another friend request. Anyways, but back to the story. Even though I still want to try out Lolita, but it is an alternative fashion, but I may have to wear it after getting out of press hours. Even though with being press, I kind of feel like it's almost a 24/7 type thing when it comes to conventions, because you sometimes go to events like after hours and sometimes talk about them, but you can't really talk about the 18 plus events, even though I'm still remembering how me, Rain, and Toby saw a 8-year-old come into an 18 plus event during Holiday Matsuri. So yeah. But to tell you the truth, I am glad that Rain did get a chance to fill his dream of trying out Lolita, and he was able to start doing Lolita hangouts with some people that he had met through the Central Florida Lolita Society. While me, I will try it out someday. I have to find the right size because, I am a plus size woman with some curves, which I'm still trying to lose some weight. Yep, around here. But of course, for health reasons too. Because I do have a thyroid issue. But again, I kind of feel like I will get my chance someday, and I know I'm going to probably make it look good. But now, with doing all this press stuff, I gotta look good for the cameras and all of you, and I'm still glad that Rain did get his chance to do Lolita for a little while. And yes, I am gonna miss him immensely after... Oh, I forgot to do my lips. Immensely after what had taken place recently with his death. And I know telling this story kind of helped me find some closure, but it's still gonna hurt a little while longer, because he was my best friend after all, and we've been through a lot. I mean,
Ulta Beauty. Now, palms facing up together. Want it? Raised fist. Got it. Weekly beauty deals trademark. 50% off blushes, eyeliners, hand soaps and more from the Ulta Beauty collection. Attachment.
Even though I'm trying to save up here, I'm gonna use this thing from No Life as well. Anyways. Because it's in a little donut package. But anyways, as I was saying before all these interruptions, I am going to miss him immensely, and same with Toby, same with all my other friends, because he was about to go with a major life change, and it was important for him to do what he wanted to do. And not only that, as he went through the surgery, he was going back to school for film, and I was starting my journey to get my master's in assistive technology. And we were going to root for each other on each other's sidelines to make sure that we get through everything. But now I kind of feel like on that first day when I was starting my classes, I can't believe he's not getting his degree. And I almost felt like I'm going for my dream and he never got a chance to. But I know he would probably say, don't think that like that, just keep going, which I am. And I know he'll be proud of me once I cross that finish line, because I already crossed the starting line. So, yeah. So, guys, just look out for more videos. I know it's gonna still be in this old format. I am really sorry, but we weren't expecting anything like this to happen. Nobody did. So, until next time, stay safe and stay beautiful while traveling the vast universe. And rest in peace, Rain. I am going to miss you so much.